A pleasant day to all of us. I am Sharifa Panalangin and I am the one of the reporter of Science, Technology, and Nation Building, since Sitiram Lamonir will discuss the other parts of my topic. In this video, I am going to tackle the brief historical background of science and technology in the Philippines. But before we get started, let me discuss first what is science, technology, and nation building. Science, technology, and nation building hold the key to the progress and development of any nation. Technology plays a fundamental role in wealth creation, improvement of the quality of life, and real economic growth and transformation in any society. Science and technology in the Philippines started way back before the country gained its independence from the American colonizers. Before the coming of the Spanish colonizers, the early inhabitants of the archipelago had their own culture and traditions. They had their own belief system in indigenous knowledge system that keeps them organized and sustain their lives and communities for many years. Science in pre-Spanish Philippines is embedded in the way of life of the people. Scientific knowledge is observed in the way they plant their crops that provide them food, in taking care of animals to help them in their daily tasks, and for food production. Science is observed in the way they interpret the movement of heavenly bodies to predict seasons and climates, and in organizing days into months and years. They used science in preparing the soil for agriculture purposes, and like any other ancient cultures, they discovered the medicinal uses of plants. Technology is used by people in building houses, irrigations, and in developing tools that they can use in everyday life. Just like us or just like the people nowadays, they also use any kind of technology to build their own houses and whatever matters they want. They developed tools for planting, hunting, cooking, and fishing, for fighting their enemies during war or tribal conflicts, and for transportation, both on land and on waterways. They also developed technologies in creating musical instruments. The different archaeological artifacts discovered in different parts of the country also prove that the Metal Age also had a significant influence on the lives of early Filipinos. The sophisticated designs of gold and silver jewelry, ceramic and metal tools proved that their technological ideas helped in the development of different tools. Also, trading with China, Indonesia, Japan, and other nearby countries have influenced their lives by providing different opportunities for cultural and technological exchange. All these ancient practices in science and technology are considered now as indigenous science or folk science. When the Spaniards colonized the country, they brought with them their own culture and practices. They established schools for boys and girls and introduced the concept of subjects and disciplines. It was the beginning of formal science and technology in the country, known now as a School of Science and Technology. Learning of science in school focuses on understanding different concepts related to the human body, plants, animals, and heavenly bodies. Technology focuses on using developing house tools used in everyday life. Life during the Spanish era slowly became modernized, adapting some Western technology and their ways of life. The Filipinos developed ways to replicate the technology brought by the Spaniards using indigenous materials. Medicine and advanced science were introduced in formal colleges and universities established by the Catholic orders. The galleon trade has brought additional technology and development in the Philippines. Although it is only beneficial for the Spaniards, these trades allowed other ideas, crafts, tools, cultural practices, technology, and Western practices to reach the country. Some Filipino students who were able to study in Europe also contributed in the advancement of medicine, engineering, arts, music, and literature in the country. The Philippines, being one of the centers of global trade in the Southeast Asia during that time, was considered to be one of the most developed places in the region. Although the country is blessed with these developments, the superstitious beliefs of the people and the Catholic doctrines and practices during the Spanish era halted the growth of science in the country. The Americans have more influence in the development of science and technology in our country or in the Philippines compared to the Spaniards. They established the public education system and improved the engineering works and the health conditions of the people. They they established a modern research university, the University of the Philippines, and created more public hospitals than the former colonial master. The mineral resources of the country were explored and exploited during the American times. Transportation and communication systems were improved, though not accessible throughout the country. The Americans did everything to Americanize the Philippines. They reorganized the learning of science and introduced it in public and private schools. In basic education, science education focuses on nature studies and science and sanitation until it became a subject formally known as science. The teaching of science in higher education has also greatly improved and modernized. Researches were done to control malaria, cholera, and tuberculosis and other tropical diseases. The American scholars also introduced new knowledge and technology in the country. The Protestant church missions in different places in the country also brought hospitals and schools to far flung areas. Little by little, these efforts built a strong foundation for science and technology in the country. During World War II, however, they established the development of the country in many ways. Institutions, public facilities, and houses and lives were destroyed. The country had a difficult time to rebuild the ruins of the war. The human spirit to survive and to rebuild the country may be strong, but the capacity of the country to rebuild was limited. The reparation funds focused on building some institutions and public facilities like schools, hospitals, and transportation systems. The reparation money from Japan was also concentrated on building highways and in providing technological training and human resource development in the country. Since the establishment for the new republic, the whole nation has been focusing its limited resources to improve its science and technology capability. It has explored the use of overseas development allocations or the what we call the ODA from different countries to help the country improve its science and technology productivity and capability. Human resource development focused on producing more engineers, scientists, technology experts, doctors, and other professionals. And the development of the science and technology in our country or in the Philippines are basing on its brief history. Its brief history is shaped by several factors and influences. Like in the history of science in other countries, it is always shaped by human and social activities, both internal and external. As we see in this figure, science and technology or the SNT may have a significant impact on the lives of the people and in the development of the Philippine society. However, improving the quality of science education still remains a big challenge in the country. School science from basic education to graduate education is improving slowly and there are only few students enrolling in SNT or the science and technology courses.